Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Lanatui, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys the first round of the NPL Minors playoffs. This time we are going up against Ashton Nakai, aka Erik, coach of the AS Rowlet. We have played him many times on our channel. If you have not done so already, please check him out in the description below. We also played him somewhat recently in NPL Minors. We were able to come out with a 3-0 victory. However, we are facing him round 1 of the playoffs, and as you can see here, he decided to bring his Shaman, his Skarmory, Regirock, Machamp, Garchomp, and Mega Blastoise. A couple of team changes that he brought. He brought his Garchomp as well as his Regirock. He did not have those in the last time we faced off. I was really expecting the Garchomp the first time just because of how threatening it is versus my team. Definitely makes sense why he brought it here. And then he has the Regirock, less threatening to my team, but could definitely be annoying. Being able to deal with my Snorlax, I can't really OHKO it with anything, which is kind of annoying, but regardless, for a quick rundown of our team, it's going to be very similar to the team I brought against Erik last time. However, there are a couple of key differences, and I'll definitely note them as we go in. We have Banded Zygarde, same thing that I brought against him last time. Physically defensive Mandibuzz, last time it was specially defensive to kind of deal with things like the Shaman, but Shaman I check relatively well anyway. Same thing with the Blastoise, I kind of check relatively well, so I made it more physically defensive to deal with things like the Garchomp as well as the Machamp, which can be big problems to my team. Machamp, as you saw in the last time we played him, I didn't have switch-ins to, so hopefully with a physically defensive Mandibuzz I can deal with it a little bit better. Scarf Tapu Bulu, same set, still puts in a lot of work versus his team. As soon as I weaken the Shaman as well as the Skarmory, I can just spam Scarf Woodhammer across his team, which is very nice. And if he decides to bring like an offensive Skarmory, an offensive Shaman, I will be able to do a lot of damage to that. We have 2 attacks, Rest Sleep Talk Snorlax, with Ice Punch and Return, and then Rest Sleep Talk, kind of just to get damage off onto his team, as well as absorb hits from things like the Shaman. I can absorb hits from the Regirock and beat that 1v1 if he's not Rest. Can hit the Garchomp super effectively, can kind of deal with the Blastoise, which is nice. And then this is the big change that I made. Last time we faced Erik, we had specially defensive Heatran with leftovers. And this time, we're still running Stealth Rock on this thing. However, we are running Timid with enough speed to outspeed modest max speed Mega Blastoise, and we are running Gracian Z Solar Beam so that we can hit the Mega Blastoise with the Bloom Doom. Could hit the Regirock as well, but Mega Blastoise is a bit bigger of a threat, and I would hopefully be able to deal with that. And I'm hoping because we brought the same 6, he's going to think that maybe I brought the exact same 6 sets. That would be kind of nice for me, but regardless. And then we have the same set that we brought last time in Dragalge. We have just an Assault Vest for attacks Dragalge, which still puts in a lot of work versus his team. He doesn't have good switch into Draco Meteor. His resist in Skarmory is hit super effectively by Thunderbolt, which is very nice. So just its dual stab plus Thunderbolt, very useful for his team. So without further ado, let us just hop into the game. As you're going to see here, he's actually going to lead with his Garchomp, and I'm going to lead with Heatran. This is unfavorable for me, so I'm going to switch out into my Mandibuzz expecting the Earthquake, or Rocks, and as you can see, he goes for Swords Dance, and he's gonna pull out the devastating Drake and just get rid of my Mandibuzz turn 1, which kind of sucks. I didn't want to go out into Tapu Bulu, because even though I figured maybe a Z move was coming, he also could have just straight up gone for Stone Edge, or even just gone for Z Stone Edge. That would have been really bad, and I would have just probably lost my Tapu Bulu, which would not have been good, because I need my Tapu Bulu for his team. Now here, I have 2 options. I can either go out into my Zygarde, go for Outrage, and knock him out, but that's not really optimal because I either knock him out and then he just goes Skarmory or Regirock or Blastoise or whatever it takes to hit and kills me, or he can just straight up switch out into Skarmory and just take the Outrage, get up Rocks, get up Spikes, Whirlwind me out, hit me with Brave Bird, whatever. So, I actually opt to go out into my Snorlax and just click Ice Punch. I am max defense, so I will be able to take that Earthquake at +2, and I will be able to hit him with the Ice Punch, but we are going to lose our Snorlax turn 3. So turn 3 into the game, already down 4-6, and I'm on the back foot, so I'm going to have to start making plays to kind of get myself back into the game. Here, I'm just going to go for Bandit 1000 Arrows as he sends in his Shaman. I'm going to get a crit, not that it matters all that much, and what I'm going to do now is go right out into my Dragalge. Even though he makes a good prediction going for the Earth Power, I am Assault Vest, I'm a Dragalge, he's uninvested, he's not going to be doing a lot of damage to me, and what I can do is just fire off a Draco Meteor. It's going to do a lot to whatever wants to come in. He, however, reveals fully specially defensive Assault Vest Regirock, very good prep on his part. And what I'm going to do is go out into my Tapu Bulu. He, however, predicts that and goes for the Fire Punch, which is a little bit unfortunate for me, but now is where I decide to turn the momentum around. Expecting his Skarmory to want to come out to switch into the Tapu Bulu, I'm going to pull a double right out into my Heatran as he does send out that Skarmory. Now, expecting him to predict me to go for Rocks, I'm just going to go right for Lava Plume so that I can bring the Skarmory down to sturdy as he ends up going for Rocks. And now what I can do is go for Rocks, expecting him to want to switch out, save the Skarmory as fodder, and getting a good offensive switch into his Blastoise, because Blastoise beats the Def Heatran. However, because he does expect this to be the same set as last time, I'm going to be able to catch him off guard with a Bloom Doom and be able to knock him out, which is wonderful. We are able to pull this game a little bit back. We got rid of his Rapid Spinner, we got rid of a big threat to our team, and now, unfortunately, I can't really switch anything into this Machamp. He's going to knock me out with a Banded Dynamic Punch. Nothing I really could have switched in there. So, kind of just had to hope for the burn, and we didn't get it. That's fine. This damage is all I needed for my Bulu, which is nice as well as for my Zygarde. As you're going to see here, he's going to sack off the Skarmory to get a safe switch into his Machamp, although he's actually going to go Garchomp first, just because, probably just to scout to see if I was Scarf. That would have been good information to have just so that he could, see if his Shaman would be able to outspeed it. Obviously he can't. However, he's going to go into a Shaman, and I'm calling his double pretty heavily right now. I think he's going to expect me to go into Dragalge. I've made that play every single time. So I'm going to go for another Wood Hammer here. As you can see here, we're able to knock out that Machamp, and that is really good for me. Even if he stayed in with Shaman, the Wood Hammer possibly would have been able to put him in range of Outrage from my Zygarde, which would have been very nice. Regardless, now what I can do is go out into my Dragalge. Once again, I can take an Earth Power. He's going to get the Spadef drop with Seed Flare, but because of my massive Spadef, I will be able to take Earth Power anyway. So what I'm going to do is just go for Sludge Wave. I should be able to 2-KO the Shaman, or I'll be able to knock out the Shaman. Not going to be able to knock out the Regirock because this thing is grossly defensive, but what I can do is just sack off my Tapu Bulu. It's not very necessary anymore. He's going to go right for the Stone Edge just to not hit my Dragalge neutrally, as well as knock out my Tapu Bulu if I switch that in, which I did. And then what I can do is go out into my Zygarde, and my best play here 100% is clicking Outrage. Banded Outrage will put this Regirock in range of my Dragalge, and if he decides to switch out into a Shaman, which he does, I will be able to 2-KO that. So as you're going to see here, Outrage is going to go out, he's going to send in his Shaman. His decision is going to be to switch back out into Regirock, hope I only get the 2-turn, and then hope that the rest of his team can somehow beat Dragalge, even if he's able to beat my Zygarde. But as you can see here, we get the 3-turn Outrage, and we are going to be able to knock out this Regirock. Like I said, even if I got the 2-turn, I could have just switched out my my Zygarde and then 2-KO'd and knocked out the rest of the team with Outrage anyway. However, that is not the case. What's going to happen here is I'm going to switch out just to make sure that I win 100%, because if he goes for Synthesis, I'm still very healthy, and I'm able to knock him out with Sludge Wave. Even if he gets the Spadef drop, I can live the Earth Power, as you can see there. Even if he crit me on that turn, I could have gone back out into my Zygarde and knocked him out with the Isho's Banded Outrage anyway. So, as you can see there, we're going to win this game. And whew, this was a really good game from Erik. I'm very proud of how I played this game. We started off in a very bad spot because he was able to prep very well with the devastating Garchomp. I had to basically stack 2 Pokemon immediately in order to deal with that thing. But we were able to pull this game back from a very, very bad spot. Particularly big turning point was obviously with the Heatran, when I pulled the double expecting the Skarmory, and then I went for the Lava Plume expecting him to want me to go for Rocks, and then going for the Bloom Doom on the Blastoise. That was huge. Thankfully he wasn't a timid Blastoise, or that could have been a very big problem. And then obviously later on, me predicting the double into Machamp with my Tapu Bulu, going for Wood Hammer on the Shaman, expecting that Machamp once again and being able to call that correctly. That was really big. I'm very happy with how I played this. Erik played fine. Erik prepped very, very well, but it was in a bad spot for me, and I was just able to pull it back. And this was a great game, very well played by Erik. Once again, we have played him multiple times on our channel, so if you haven't done so already, please check out his YouTube link in the description below. Regardless, we now move on to the semifinals of NPL Minors. If you guys don't know how this works, the top 3 players in NPL Minors move on to the NPL Majors for the next season. This was the quarterfinals. We're moving on to the semifinals. Whoever wins that is guaranteed to move on to the NPL Minors finals, as well as move on to the NPL Majors. So we're looking to defeat the Verd, who is going to be our opponent. This is someone who is not going to be easy to beat. The last time we played him, he was able to 6-0 me, and he is a very, very strong, very good opponent, very worthy opponent, and we're going to have a hard time being able to beat him, but hopefully we will be able to do so that we can move on to the finals. Regardless, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next week for the game versus Verd, and yeah, I'll see you then.